With everyone trying to move away from Amazon's associates, or at least trying to diversify away from it, affiliate networks are one of the first options that pops in everyone's minds because it's so convenient to have all the offers under one dashboard and have one source of payment, etc. But are affiliate networks really worth your time? What are the things that you need to avoid or at least be careful when you're using them? Or how do you solve dilemmas like, for example, if you want to promote a pair of Nike shoes that is both available on Amazon and on an affiliate network like CJ, which one should you use, in which case, etc. These are the kind of questions that we are going to attempt to answer to in this episode, so stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Authority Hacker podcast. So the other day, I was looking at the podcast feed and I was looking for ideas for the podcast. And I realized that in more than 250 episodes, we never talked about affiliate networks on their own, when they're a pretty important part of the way we monetize things. It's not necessarily my favorite. I tend to prefer more individual networks, as we will talk about in this episode. Not individual affiliate programs, not networks. And I explain why in this episode, but it's going to be interesting. So because it's such an important part of monetization, we thought we would cover it and cover our experience with them so that you guys know exactly how to use networks so that you can monetize your sites better. So for that, obviously, I have Mark. So how's it going, Mark?
It's going good, Gil. How are you?
Someone commented on the premiere last week. Why I was asking why only one of us was wearing an Authority Hacker t-shirt or thing, because it's always you, right? Yeah. And I just can't be bothered usually to change. And my answer was budget. We can't afford both, but I could afford the old one, right? This is the old logo because I still didn't receive the new ones.
I actually have the new ones downstairs. I've just been too lazy to box them up and send them over to you. So apologies for that. I do have one interesting how's it going, Mark, story though. So okay. I was actually the guest on another podcast this week. And the guy asked me after introducing me, how's it going, Mark? And I froze. Like I didn't have an answer prepared. And I was like, good, I guess. So it seems like your how's it going, Mark thing has started to spread. And to be honest, I'm getting a little worried now.
It's like your brain snaps when it happens. It's like it's a post-traumatic experience, and you get something that just flashes back in your head and you blank. That's pretty funny. Okay, let's talk about affiliate networks. And I usually tend to let you do the intros / first parts of the podcast because I think you're clearer than me when you explain what things are and how they are. So I'll let you do that part as well, which is just what is an actual affiliate network and how does it work?
An affiliate network is a company which brings together affiliate tracking software, often payment software or payment processing as well, as a group of vendors, that is people who have products and who are looking for affiliates, and a group of affiliates who are looking to promote products. And when you have all three of those pieces under one roof, it creates a pretty strong value proposition for an affiliate. So you can join that program, that network, and you can instantly get access to promote dozens or hundreds or thousands even of different products and different vendors, all using the same link technology or link generation software, one login, one payout details, one payout payment. So it just keeps things easy as an affiliate. As a vendor or someone with a product, you can go to them and you will have access to their technology, but also they'll be there to help you set it up, maybe give you some advice, as well as their affiliate managers will or can assist in getting affiliates to push your product. So making them aware that it exists. This is in stark contrast to running your own affiliate program, which is still possible and pretty easy from a technology perspective. A lot of shopping carts these days will have the affiliate tracking software built in, and it will connect to PayPal or whatever payment processing.
Yeah, that's how we do on Authority Hacker, right?
Yeah, so we use Thrivecart to process payments for our courses on Authority Hacker, and they have a built-in affiliate tracking software in there. So that's what we use. Now, the downside of that is that we have to go out and find our own affiliates, and we have to create our own affiliate onboarding process and application form and screen them and do all these things, which means that it's a little bit, I guess, tricky, a little bit more tricky sometimes to find affiliates than it would be just going to a big network. But there are some advantages, i.e., more control. It's cheaper to run it yourself. You can kind of customize things and set up things the way you want to. And some of the, I don't know, nefarious policies that affiliate networks sometimes have, you don't have to deal with their bullshit, basically.
Yeah, it's kind of like, well, do you want to manage this or do you want to take this off your company? But you know what? Why it's really important for me. It's not just like, like a lot of people are going to be like shaking their heads and like, you don't care as an affiliate, but you do care. And that's one of the reasons why I prefer independent affiliate programs, because usually
are you talking as the vendor or as an affiliate here, though?
As an affiliate.
Okay.
And the reason why is because a company that decides to put the resources behind properly running their affiliate programs versus using a network tends to just care more about that program, and usually sees a return for that, which is an indication to me that they're making money with their affiliate program. Whereas, running through a network feels more like a second thought, like kind of like when you outsource something versus when you do it yourself, right? You tend to focus on doing the things yourself that bring the most value and outsourcing the stuff that's like secondary to your business. And so that's my opinion. That it's like the way it works is like people who are on networks tend to see this as secondary, whereas people who run their own affiliate programs tend to see this as a primary method of acquiring traffic and monetization. And you're more likely to get quality from the people who run their own affiliate program. However, it could also be the other end. It could literally be scammers running a trap affiliate program, taking your traffic and never paying you out, which we should talk about a little bit later, maybe. So I just wanted to highlight that because I think it's something that people will, bypass and be like, that's a useless detail. But it's actually, in my experience, it matters quite a bit, and it tells you the philosophy of the company towards the affiliate program.
And just to sort of like turn that around a little bit, there are some good examples of like niche specific affiliate programs. So you have your general, affiliate networks. You have your general affiliate networks, your commission junction, share a sale, affiliate window, those kind of guys. Then you have a lot of niche specific affiliate networks. I'm thinking MoreNiche, when we met those guys out when we were at the Chiang Mai SEO conference a couple years back. And they focus primarily on kind of health and diet and supplement kind of ranges, I think at least. So by going into them and like applying for them, you can get access to like a lot of programs quite quickly, and you can kind of compare them all easily, and just kind of get involved. You don't have to fill out dozens of affiliate applications and then wait to be approved. And
it depends, right? It's like when you work within an affiliate network, when you just, especially like these more like smaller networks, you tend to, there's tiers of affiliates, right? There's like kind of like, it's gonna be like playing a ranked Overwatch, right? You're like silver, gold, platinum, etc. Think about it that way. And depending on your tier, you don't get access to all the offers. When you join an affiliate network, it's quite often that you arrive and then you see a bunch of offers in the dashboard, but actually for many offers, you're gonna need to still apply within the network, right? So it's often easy to get in the network, but you cannot necessarily promote everything. And for big networks like CJ and Carousel, for most programs, you need to apply, right? You need to go ahead and fill another application that is then reviewed by the company. So when you sign up for the network, you're signing up to the network that decides if you as an affiliate are interested for the network, but a lot and increasingly more offers will require a second application within the network where you get another form to fill, and that application is going to be reviewed by the company that is running through the network and then be approved or not approved. And very often, in my experience, I've applied to a bunch of things through that and I get no reply. And the only way to get a reply is to talk to your affiliate managers through the network so they can then nudge the person in the company that will then look at your application, and then eventually you might get in,
This is a common problem, not just with networks, but when applying for affiliate programs, is you don't get a reply. It's like, did they reject me? Did they not get it? Is there some technical problem? Or have they just not checked it recently? And trying to figure out what's going on there is difficult. As you said, though, with an affiliate network, you have an account manager, an affiliate manager who you have their contact info. A lot of the time you'll have spoken to them on a Skype call or something. and you'll be able to reach out to them and say, hey, what's going on here? And they can reach out to the right people, grease the wheels, and kind of get you in, as it were. Also, the better networks, you apply once and for the network, and then they'll pull a lot of that data. So your application to each program within the network is much shorter. So you don't have to type in your email address and your business VAT number and all those kind of details that they seem to need these days. It's more just like a few specific things to that affiliate program.
Yeah, but it can also be quite frustrating. It also happens that you have to redo the same thing a million times, etc. So
I think just in general with affiliate programs and affiliate networks, I really feel the pain of affiliate managers, and I understand why this happens, because 90 to 95% of affiliates that join will refer no traffic and make no sales. Like they join with the best intentions, but for whatever reason they don't follow through and they don't do anything. So there's a lot of burden, administrative burden, like dealing with those people. And when you have loads of accounts and you need to like change something, you need to reach out to everyone, and it just gets a little bit messy. So I understand why networks and programs are trying to throttle the number of people coming in. They want to not have that 90 to 95% get in and just have like the people who are actually serious in there. And so that's why I think they apply directly or indirectly through, not responding to applications often. I think that's why they're poor in accepting people like that.
Yeah, it's not just that. It's also, if you think about what I said earlier, if the affiliate program is more of a second thought, like kind of like the people in the parent company think that the affiliate network is managing that, or like there's someone that's doing this on the side of their job because they're just managing the network, then they're less on the ball when they receive a direct applications that they need to approve inside the company that is running through the network. And it feels like, like to my experience, in a lot of cases, they mostly reply to the nudges of the affiliate manager. And we should talk about the affiliate manager, who it is, what they do, and what to do at the beginning. Like you do that more, so you should talk more. Like you're the one who talks to them usually. I'm the one who makes the strategy, and then you just like, okay, fine, we need to this network, and you go talk to them, and then you just negotiate a better deal or whatever you do.
I always see, so around like applying to networks and programs, like I always see it as a challenge. Like I'm expecting to be sort of ghosted the first time we apply, especially as a new site. I'm thinking maybe often the application form doesn't have enough fields for you to explain who you are or what you're really trying to do. It's just like name, website, chosen strategy or whatever, and you select it from a drop down, and it's not really effective in me communicating my message. But in 100% of times when we've applied for a affiliate program or network and we've wanted to get in and they haven't responded, I've been able to find a way to get in touch with them and being able to craft a message that convinces them that they should let us in 100% of times. And just the mere fact of going through those motions and expressing your interest in a more sincere way to the right person, tracking down that person, as you would for, link building outreach or something, it's really not that different, then you can almost always get in, as I said. So, yeah.
Yeah. But like I was more thinking about the affiliate, like you get some kind of like assigned affiliate manager when you join a network, right? You get someone that's assigned to you. Usually you see it in the dashboard when you log in, etc. Would you contact them right away? And what happens with them?
Often no, especially for new sites. Like often we'll sign up for an affiliate network for a new site which doesn't have much traffic, or realistically, we're probably not going to make any sales because we're focusing on SEO. We're not going to make any sales for several months, and so it's only after we've started to deliver something that I'll reach out and try and spark that relationship. Obviously, if they reach out to me, I'll engage. I'll set up a call if they're up for that. But often they're like, well, we'll wait till see if their numbers kind of go up before it's worth reaching out to the site. So I think, that would generally be my approach. But once we have started sending some traffic, making some commissions, I think reaching out and engaging with the affiliate manager and treating them nice is so important. And having been on both sides of this as a vendor and as an affiliate, I know that the vast majority of affiliates do not treat the affiliate managers very well at all. And you get a lot of very short, robotic, kind of arsey messages to them saying like, why is this happening? Or what's this like? No attempt to engage them on a personal level, which I think is a mistake. And I think we've seen from past experience that building that relationship and getting to know affiliate managers has paid dividends in the vast majority of cases when we've really put in the effort to talk to them, or even sometimes like go and visit them in their offices if we happen to be near where they're at.
Yeah, I think it's important to be nice, but it's also important to not give information you don't have to give. A lot of these affiliate managers are also affiliates. It's like just having that kind of job makes them like, it's like, oh my god, this guy is making 10K a month or whatever. Like, I want to do that too. And it's really, really not uncommon that an affiliate, like someone that works for the network or for whatever, or for you're promoting for that matter, you talk to them and you like having a discussion, maybe trying to increase your commissions, maybe showing them something or whatever. And they create sites that would literally copy you as well. So they're potential competitors as well. And they might even be competitors before they talk to you, right? They might already have sites promoting X offer, whatever. And so you need to be a little careful, and I would not give information I don't need to give. And when I can stay vague, I would stay vague. It's like I would necessarily, like if I show an example of a page, I would not show my best page. I would not, like, you can hide that in, like, even when you cloak your links, etc. It's much harder for them because they see the redirect. They don't see which page it comes from or something like this. So they don't have all the data, and
that's actually an important point about link cloaking, because by default, the affiliate program will give you an affiliate link generator usually that you can create an affiliate link and just kind of stick it on your site somewhere. But if you just do that, they'll see exactly where all the clicks and all the sales come from. So the affiliate manager will have full transparency over which pages on your site are making the sales. So if you start like a new content hub that does particularly well, they'll see it, and often they'll pass that information on, if it's their own project they're working on, or to other affiliates. Maybe there's no competition and you found a new group of seed keywords that are working really well. But the affiliates manager's interest is to get as many people making sales for their products.
Yeah, so he would give it to them,
their network. So he'll say, hey, this is working really well for them. Why don't you do the same as well?
Yeah.
And that works in their interest.
There's another thing. It's like if I was in a really competitive niche, like if I was in like casino, finance, even travel, things like that, I would not even cloak my links on my main domains. I would cloak my links on a third-party domain. You can use tools like ClickMagick, for example. Like it's a bit of a better affiliate tracker. If you it's more expensive, but you can do that. And this way they wouldn't even necessarily see my main domain. Or if you have multiple sites in the same niche, for example, you can register with one site, but kind of like also push traffic from other sites. And then if you have a third-party tracking domain, then they won't necessarily see even the site, so they can just find it and put it in Ahrefs or something like this. And you can hide that by having just a dedicated domain that's here to redirect the traffic. So you send your traffic to, I don't know, I'd say it's like authorityhacker.net. Let's imagine we had authorityhacker.net as a tracking domain for a finance site. I would use that as my cloak links, and I would send traffic to authorityhacker.net, which would then redirect to the affiliate offer, and they would never see the origin site, And especially if you have a network of sites, if you have like some sites that are really banking, etc., it might be worth registering with one site and sending traffic with the rest of your site. You should probably say in your application that you have a network of sites, but you shouldn't necessarily give all their URLs. So that you're clear, but you also want to protect your information, because you are talking to people that could potentially use that information against you as well. So something I'd be quite careful. Another thing I'd be a bit careful is taking anything these managers say for granted, because as part of their job, they are given objectives, right? Essentially, their job is to be the salesman of a given offer. Let's say that the network that they're working for, just made a deal with a big weight loss company, and they promised to try to push, $200,000 of sales per month to these guys, right? The affiliate manager is largely incentivized to oversell that offer to you and make you push traffic to these people, even though that may not be the best course of action for you as an affiliate, because of the engagement the network has taken, because they want to grow that relationship for themselves, etc. And so I'd be a little careful when something is a little bit overhyped and they're telling, oh, it's working so well for like 10 other people, etc. To not take this at face value and bring a lot of skepticism when they're pushing something to you, because you're a product to them. You're essentially a traffic source, and they just need to convince you. And it's just typical business deals. I win, you lose sometimes. Not necessarily. It doesn't mean everything they say is bad, but you have to understand what they're trying to achieve with talking to you, which is making you send the right traffic to the right place for them to make the most money, not you making the most money. And so, yeah, I don't know if that happened to you when you talk to them sometimes, but it depends. Some of them are a bit hypey, basically, but yeah.
All the time. Yeah. I mean, if you were to just do everything every affiliate manager said, you would be changing everything all the time and you'd never like get anywhere. So yeah, you have to have a layer of critical sense applied to anything they're kind of asking you for. That doesn't mean that everything they're saying is bullshit, because actually sometimes they'll come along with like a legitimately good offer, or indeed they may be saying something that works really well for 10 other sites, but because yours is, the content's different or the angle's a little bit different, it might just not work for yours because your audience is different. So it's hard to say whether there's like nefarious undertones to the intent or not.
Yeah, usually what I do, if that, let's say an affiliate manager would push something to me, I made that video, right, about finding all the sites promoting stuff through the tracking links, right? So you can put the tracking links into Ahrefs, and you can take your tracking link for a given offer, put it in Ahrefs, and find your competitors that are pushing the same offer, right? And it's like kind of like try to fact check what they're saying. It's like, hey, are really a lot of people pushing that stuff? Can I see that when I actually reverse engineer competition for that offer, or is this something that's completely new, nobody's pushing, and they're just trying to just grow it, and they're trying to use me as a guinea pig, Yeah, I would double check stuff. I would probably stay nice on the call, I wouldn't try to like call them out and ruin the relationship or something like this, but I'd be like, hey, I'll think about it, and then I would double check. And if that's interesting, then I'll get back in touch with them, and if it's not interesting, I'll just pretend I forgot about it. That's pretty much how I would manage that relationship. So yeah, be a little careful of these people. They have their best interest in mind, but sometimes, and even often, your interest and their interest aligns, because the more sales you make, the more money they make as well. Anything else on managers?
Just to get back to your like link cloaking thing, I don't want everyone listening to this thinking, oh shit, I need to go away and cloak all my affiliate links right now.
Not for Amazon, no.
Like this, yes, I mean, certainly not for something like Amazon, but this is quite common where there are affiliates who are sending paid traffic to an offer, because anyone else can come along and just buy that same or similar paid traffic if they know where it's coming from. So link cloaking and all that's like really big and really important when you're doing something like that. It's slightly more challenging. It's a lot more challenging, in fact, to replicate a website, especially if it has any kind of authority or it's established. You can't just throw another blog up and target the same keywords and rewrite them. Some people will try, and occasionally people will have some success, but it's not that big of a deal that you need to go away and cloak all of your links right away.
Yeah, I would only do it if you go in like finance or something really, really competitive at like where people have sharp teeth, and they're very experienced as well.
Yeah, I think this happens a lot with like weight loss and supplements as well. Like I remember from our health site days, we didn't get into that too much, but yeah, there were some iffy things going on for sure with some of those networks. What I will say as well is that a lot of networks have the ability to create tracking IDs. So you'll, let's say, create a tracking ID per post on your site, and then you put those in. Just remember that if you make those obvious, or they're the same as the URL, you're cloaking it, then they're still going to have that tracking ID data. So you might need to create some kind of coded tracking IDs, and then have a reference sheet where you can like do a VLOOKUP and map it back if you really want it into that. But I do want to emphasize for 90+% people listening to this, that's really not a concern. We don't do that for any of our websites at the moment. So
not currently, yeah. So some of the previous ones I would have done, I would have done it, but yeah, we need to get like a tinfoil hat, and when we get stuff like that, we just need to like start wearing it so people know. If that's what you want us to do, just drop it in the comments on YouTube. Let us know if we need to make homemade tinfoil hats.
I love it.
I know. It's like I'm really tired. It's usually when I get my best ideas, Anyway, let's talk. I want to talk about stats within affiliate networks because it kind of crosses over with the affiliate managers, in the sense that let's be like, I don't always believe the stats I see in affiliate networks. So first of all, they all kind of like have their own stats. Some of them are pretty common. So, if you go on Carousel or CJ, for example, they get like EPC. But like normally, when you do EPC with ads, for example, it's like earning per click. That's how you would call it. For them, first of all, it's earning per 100 clicks, which means that already you're reading this a bit differently. But it's kind of tricky in the sense that if you believe that, then it's looking like very inflated numbers, which they may not be. They just like they actually use a different definition for it. But I find it fishy. Unless you go find it in their help files, it doesn't say that. But if you run a PPC campaign, EPC, you'll say per click, right? And for a network like Clickbank, for example, you get gravity. Gravity is a number they kind of make up through a custom algorithm that is based on the number of affiliates that made money with that, made a sell with that offer within the last 12 weeks, for example. So that's the kind of weird metrics you get. So the first thing you need to do when you get into a network is look at, open the dashboard with all the offers, and you get like 3, 4, 5 metrics for each offer, and go on the help file and read what each metric actually is according to them. And they will be deceiving like the EPC thing, for example. They will do that so that it looks like you're making a ton of money sending traffic to an offer, but really they just multiplied the proper EPC by 100. And that's why sometimes it looks ridiculous. You see offers with like 300 EPC, etc. No, it's actually $3 per click, which would make sense for a good offer. It's possible. So you need to be a bit careful with that. And another thing is, the numbers you see in the dashboard, it's very rarely what you're going to see when you promote the offer. First of all, because it's essentially taking all the traffic. So if you have affiliates that have very, very high intent traffic, for example, they will do very well. So let's say let's just take Bluehost. Like the guy who ranks number 1 for Bluehost review, his EPC is going to be really high, right? But if you rank for how to make side income, and then you link to Bluehost in a subsection on making a blog, right? The intent is going to be much lower and the EPC is going to be much lower. And it's going to be like this for you. There's going to be a mix of that in that number, and nobody really has that number you see. It's just the average of like different people that send traffic, so you need to be a bit careful. And I have no proof, but I often believe that these numbers are skewed a little bit as well towards what the offers that the network wants to push, so that it looks good to you, like the numbers look high, and then you go ahead and push that offer because that's the one the network maybe makes the most margin on or something like this. And so you need to be a little careful with all these numbers in the dashboard. There's favorite way of
There's some other tricks that they'll do as well. So you can order it and like sort it by EPC, but then rather than having the best ones at the top, they'll do like some featured ones, which are their like preferred. Ads on top, yeah, essentially internal ads. They'll pay for them obviously, but they'll enable the network to push the products which they get the highest kickback from. Or
it's a little deceiving, like. The whole thing is a little deceiving, and it's like you shouldn't trust 100% what you're seeing on your screen. My favorite way of validating an offer is really to get a tracking link, put it in Ahrefs, and see a bunch of people promoting that offer, ranking for good keywords, and even better if people are actively creating content that promotes that offer. Like if today, because it's very frequent as well that offers did well at some point. Like for example, you could find some Clickbank products on Health Ambition that we promoted that made us really quite good money at the time, but like really they make zero today. And then it's like you would reverse engineer, they'd be like, oh, I'm gonna promote that offer, it's gonna be great. I'm telling you, you're wasting your time, right? Even though you're gonna do reverse engineering that site, you're gonna make no money. And so it's even better if the content was refreshed or created recently, or they are, regularly creating content that promotes that offer in the last few months. That would be what I'm looking for to really validate an offer much more than the stats I see in the affiliate networks dashboard. I tend to I don't think they would lie completely as well, right? I don't think they would put a massive EPC on something that's making 0, and I don't think they put 0 on something that makes a lot of money. So it's kind of like keyword research, right? It's like the number you see in the tools is not really the reality. It's just you can compare them with each other. And so I would use that to filter. And after that, I would do this computer reverse engineering, and I would look at what people are actually doing in the field. And if people are pushing this over, then that's when I would say, okay, let's create some content. Let's try a small hub, maybe 5 pages, and then see what happens in 3 months. And then if it worked well, then let's produce, as many keywords as we can, basically. Anything on the stats?
No.
Okay. I wanted to then go after some dilemmas that really do exist in real life, because I think they're quite important. So let's say you have a running site, a running affiliate site, right? And you want to promote some Nike shoes. You kind of have 2 options here, right? You can either promote people to Amazon. I don't know how much they pay, probably 3%. I'm going to guess 3% at this point. Or you can promote them through CJ that has a Nike affiliate program that, let's say, pays you 4.5 or 5%. Let's imagine, right? Which one do you do and why?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I'm going to take the SEO.
You try it first, right?
It depends. I'll test it, etc., etc. My gut instinct says in that case, Amazon's probably going to be better, even though it's 3% versus 4.5%, because of the cross-selling that occurs on Amazon and the number of people who just buy other stuff and the conversion rate being higher because people are logged in, they have too. Amazon Prime, all that stuff. With those numbers being 3 to 4.5%, I think it's probably not going to be too much in it, but it might lean towards Amazon. If it was 3% and 10%, then I would for sure start with the CJ offer and go with that.
When was the last time you bought shoes on the Maker's Shoes website?
Honestly, I've rarely bought. I don't think I've ever bought shoes on Amazon. I think I've only ever bought shoes direct from suppliers.
On Nike.com.
Sites.
You go on
Yeah, I haven't bought Nike. Honestly, I'm all about Geox shoes these days. Here's the problem. Geox have such good shoes that I haven't actually bought any shoes in 4 years because all mine still work fine. So they last that long. We're hashtag not sponsored. Honestly, buy Geox shoes. They're amazing.
How is that helping the podcast?
I don't know. but I legit haven't bought shoes in a long time. So
okay, well. It's the thing. If it was 3 to 10%, maybe you would try that. But in general, I would say, especially with you tend to buy these branded products for cheaper on Amazon than they would be on the brand site, right? They tend to run more sales.
No, not necessarily. Not with clothing products, because the Amazon fees that they have to pay are fairly significant as well. Often you can get much better deals going through that. Clothes is one of those things that Amazon they have not totally conquered it yet.
So at what rate would you switch from Amazon to CJ? Let's say Amazon's 3%. How much would CJ need to be for you to even consider it?
6 or 7, I'd say. I'm considering it from 4.5 kind of onwards. I'm experimenting with it. I'm maybe starting with CJ from 6 or 7 upwards.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Yeah, it is a tough one. That's why I'm asking a question. If it was an easy question, I wouldn't ask it. Yeah. Obviously, your mileage may vary, and this is one of these things where don't just say what we said on the don't just take what we said on the podcast and never try it, and then just do it. My gut instinct would still be to go with Amazon pretty high, 6% at least. I would say 6, 7. I think 7 would be the time where I would switch. But I would probably try both. So it's if I did a round of review, I'd probably put some CJ. Or even I'd run 1 month with one, and then I'd run the next month with the other, and just look at, how much I made per 100 visitors or something, and then I'd be able to decide based on that. It's not perfect, but it's the best way you have without running complicated.
There's another dynamic that I want to introduce here, though, because we're talking about a pair of shoes which cost, I don't know how much shoes cost these days, what, $60 to $100 for Nike shoes maybe. But if we're talking about something like, let's say a $900 mountain bike, where purchasing, it's not really a instinctive, like, oh, I'll just go
think
buy
about it.
Yeah, anything that's over $100 to $200, like, it takes a lot more consideration to make that purchase. In which time the 24-hour cookie length
expires,
that Amazon have is likely to expire, or someone else is going to cookie them. So you may end up in a situation where you miss out just because people are thinking about it, and maybe they come back next week, read another review, check that out. But if you have a CJ program with a 30-day cookie and that pays 7% on mountain bikes, then in that case, I'd be more heavily leaning towards that as the first option.
So for the mountain bike, what percentage of CJ to replace Amazon? Let's say Amazon is 3% still.
Honestly, quite close, like maybe like 4%. Honestly,
I was going to say 4.5, yeah.
Maybe even the same, like 3%. The purchasing window might be that significant. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably around the same. 3%, I would say probably Amazon still wins. But the thing that you get from this as well is that these websites, they run retargeting as well, right? So it's like people go and check the bike, and it's gonna, not only do you get paid for 30 days, but they're essentially running a campaign for you to get paid your commission for 30 days to these people who showed interest. So it's like, yeah, maybe 4%, 4.5, yeah, I would say around that. But again, these are like based on experience, but kind of like gut feeling, not tests. And you should try it for 1 month with one, then try it for the next month with the other, and try to decide. But it's quite interesting because you will often find the same product across multiple options. And actually, the next one I wanted to introduce was network versus in-house affiliate program, because that happens as well. For example, like there's some VPN companies, for example, that are both on networks and running their own affiliate programs, and they tend to be a bit different terms and conditions as well, right? Some of them would maybe offer you recurring through the in-house, and maybe one-off through the affiliate network or something. And so you kind of like go and shop here. But even with sometimes when the affiliate program has the same payout, I was reading a lot of tests from guys who do PPC because it's much easier for them to test, people make 30 to 40% more money by just testing these, even though they have the same payout. So it's like, I was reading about that guy, and he tested the CJ, I think, and he tested the in-house affiliate program. And one of the tracking domains loaded faster, like the CJ loaded faster or something like this, than the, and so like, because people didn't drop out, he made like 20 or 30% more money, because essentially it was a better experience, even though it was leading to the exact same place in the end, the same sales page, the same everything, just through different ways. So it's one of these things where I like to introduce pop-ups. I do tests with pop-ups. Like let's say you have a random preview, right? Let's say you're doing blenders. Allez, let's go for blenders. And then what I do is like, it's like best blender, you rank for that. And people who go on that page, I put an exit pop-up, or on mobile, I put maybe like a 15-second after page load pop-up, where it just shows, hey, save 20% or whatever the offer you have from your affiliate offer on that blender, click here to get it, right? And it's like, you'll make some sales from that. And because many pop-up systems we use opt-in Monster, but there's many of them like Thrive Leads, you can do that perfectly fine and just pay a one-off. You can run the A/B testing on pop-ups, but you don't really care about the result of the A/B testing from the pop-up tool. You actually care about the earnings from the offer behind. So you just make a button, you make the exact same pop-up, one linking to CJ, the one linking to the in-house affiliate program, and you just run that for 30 days. So it's exactly splitting half-half. And then you just check literally how much money you made and your EPC from that. And you will, like, I've seen several tests on forums, etc. We haven't run into that specific situations ourselves, so that's why I'm quoting these things. I've seen situations where people would make 20 to 30% more money with the exact same payout. So it's quite interesting. And even if you find two avenues for the same thing, you might want to test it and you might end up making more money. It might be worth it if you get enough volume, basically.
I think the reasoning or some of the reasoning for that potentially could be down to the underlying technology. So I presume Commission Junction's technology is really on point. I mean, they probably have a big team that works on making this like just flawless. Now we don't know in that situation what the in-house program was using technology-wise. Maybe they were using like a WordPress plugin like WP Affiliate or something, which is fine. Like it works to an extent, but it's not designed for that kind of like high-level use, and it's not fully optimized and tweaked. The performance settings are probably not as great as what CJ have developed. On the flip side of that, I think that there can be instances where an in-house affiliate program, which is tied to a shopping cart, like Thrivecart, the way they have it set up, tracks better just because like it's inbuilt and it's not two systems talking to each other, which always has the potential of failure if there's any kind of issue. But when it's built into the cart, it's like a native setting basically. So I feel like when we switched over, I feel like our affiliates started making more money when we were using the Thrivecart built-in whatnot. That's quite anecdotal, so don't quote me exactly on that. Could be a number of factors because we changed a lot of things at the same time as we switched over.
It's true. These technical things do matter. Like these little things on checkout and everything, and page load time, etc. For e-commerce, it matters more than like for blog type, affiliate type sites, etc. So I can see that play quite a bit actually.
I'd also say as well, you mentioned about the retargeting as an option, when not for the affiliate but for the vendor doing retargeting. So if we're referring a mountain bike customer to them and they land on the checkout page and they don't quite buy, then the vendor does retargets that person and then sells them next Tuesday via an ad. Now, depending on how they have the program set up, will depend on whether you get that commission or not. A lot of vendors, like for the Authority Hacker affiliate program, we have cookie-free retargeting. So when we're doing retargeting ads, the initial affiliate gets the commission for that. Some programs have like a last touch model, so like the last person to recommend or to cookie a user.
Yeah, but normally it shouldn't cancel it, right?
Will get
not through the ad
commission. Well, if they don't have if they're not cooking people through the ad, but I mean they can if they want. If
they retarget with their own affiliate link, then they can overtake it.
And that's my point. Yeah. Like with all of this stuff, it's always open. There's an element of trust that you have to have with the other party, right? And they can always screw you over if they so desire. I remember one case. There was a guy in the DC, the Dynamite Circle, who was an affiliate, and there was a network just decided that they weren't going to work with him anymore, and they kept like $14,000 of his unpaid commissions. I'm just like, sorry. That's it. Which, that was a kind of business decision on their part, bit pretty fucking dodgy if you ask me. But
who else does that?
Who?
Amazon. If you get banned from Amazon, they keep your earnings,
Oh, Amazon, yeah. So that's interesting because so that wasn't that's if you get banned, but I don't think he actually this guy did anything wrong in that sense. I think it was just a money play. But there are some, I don't want to call it nefarious, but let's call it questionable practices that the Amazon program runs. So I forget what it's called. Was it like gift aid or something like that?
Oh, I know which one.
Where if you are purchasing a product on Amazon, you can opt to give
Amazon Smiles.
Yeah, that was it. Amazon Smiles. You can opt to like give some money to charity as part of it for free, essentially. It's like, well, why would you not do that? I mean, you're buying something on Amazon, it costs the same, and you end up giving 1% of that to the to the charity. But in those cases, what actually happened was that they would not allow any affiliates to be eligible for commission when they were doing that. Now, at the time, when I sort of noticed this was when Amazon was more in the sort of like 4, 5, 6, 7, sometimes 8% commission. So essentially, they were not paying the affiliates 4 to 8% commission, and then paying a charity 1% instead, and pocketing the other 3 to 7% or whatever it was. Which, not that many people were using Amazon Smiles, but still, these kinds of things do go on even at a kind of a big high level, like for a network like Amazon.
Kind of makes me happy that Bezos is now number 2 richest man in the world. Take this.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll be struggling to sleep at night on his
I know sheets. It must be a tough life for him right now. Like he must hate it,
Yeah.
Although it just takes a bit of a tumbling from the Tesla stock, and then he's back to number 1. So who knows? Okay. Anything to add?
No.
All right, well, then we're going to close it here, guys. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed it, don't forget that you can subscribe on YouTube, and you can also give us a like if you're on YouTube. You can click on the notification bell so that you don't miss any of the episodes, and you can listen to this podcast on all the audio platforms if you prefer listening to it on the go. And we thank you for coming and joining us, and we'll see you next week for another episode.